Hello everybody, welcome to the Joe Me Show, but today we take a look at every single LEGO custom I've ever made. Hello everybody, I'm Joel, and today I'll be showing you guys every single custom I have as of the date of this video. So if you're watching in like a couple months and there's more customs and you forgot that one, make sure you check that little date down there before you say anything like that, because well, this is what I have as of right now. So I'm going to show you guys everything in order of when I made it, or I was gonna say when they're released because I'm used to saying that, but this time it's actually when I made them. But you might be asking, Joel, how on earth are you going to remember in what order you built all of these 24 customs? And if you add up all these customs, it does not add up to 24. That will be discussed when I hit a very specific milestone in subscribers. Here's the book that is going to be kind of guiding us through this whole entire video, going from our military line from around 2016 to 17, and then the military line just kind of ended all the way up to my most recent build, which you guys haven't even seen yet. This is Turbo Bubbles, because well, it has a little bubble window, which I will be doing a video on that just because it's a kind of an interesting little build, as it is actually my smallest build out of everything I've ever built. But let's go ahead and start with the military line. So this is my military base, which might look familiar to very few of you guys that have been here ever since the beginning. This is my military base, which had the intro shot in it in stop motion with the 3 sig figs right there. So there's a sig fig of me, my friend Joseph, and then my friend Deegan. And the second stop motion intro, and my last as of right now, was shot right back here where the military train sits. But right before I take a look at the military train, there is the inside, so it is complete, and there are videos on all this. So if you want to check out my LEGO playlist, I'll have a link to the playlist in the description so you can go look at all the videos that are available. But this is the scrap train, so it's pretty basic. This is actually about the 4th model that I've done. Originally, it actually didn't look like this. It looked more like these kind of models. Those are quite colorful. But it took this shape and this color after I started doing the military line. So it just is a red and white now with the train car that is identical. And it's using the power functions instead of power up because I built this before power functions came out. But you have your little button there to turn it on, and then your receiver sticks out right there, and then you use the remote to control it on the tracks. And then there was one last build for the military line before I stopped building it from lack of resources to make the models look all nice and professional like they did. But there was the military tank, which actually got torn apart and turned into the scrap super tank, which I'll talk about in just a little bit when we get to that time zone, I guess. But we're going to move away from the military line from when it was cut off completely and I stopped building it, moving to, well, the more colorful sort of scheme, I guess, moving to the LEGO house as of 2017, which I say that because this was representing the inside of my house as of 2017, so things do look a little bit different here in 2019, and there is a video on this, so it will be in that playlist. But the only room that I will point out is my room. So obviously things do not look all that different in here. Besides, well, a couple things on the wall, and well, obviously there's more LEGO customs now. But after the LEGO house, I had the one thing that was actually supposed to be a custom and not represented off anything. This is the LEGO pirate ship, which is my very first LEGO boat that I still have together today. Which is kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from the Avengers helicarrier with those 2 engines on either side. And my favorite part about this one is the masts that was taken off the side, because when you say ship, I kind of think of a big piece of metal that has 2 little things sticking off the front and the back, or the bow and the stern. And then moving away from the pirate ship, we have one of the more modern ones that actually wasn't built too long ago in just 2018. This is the LEGO Nuclear Fallout base, which features me and my friend Joseph. So that's me and that's my friend Joseph. There's also a video on this one, so if you want to watch the full detailed tour on that one, so that one was actually featured on my channel. And then we have the scrap vehicle. This is the scrap vehicle Mark 1, which it's called scrap because it's taking pieces of different vehicles. So here is the cabin from a ship, which kind of looks like the cabin from that ship right there. And then it has a vehicle bottom, so it has 6 drive wheels in the front or in the back, and then in the front we have 1 big drive wheel. And then we move on to this guy. This is the scrap plane, which, just to make sure, there is the book, so there is scrap plane right there. So this one I actually built with my sister, so, and obviously actually it looks like a plane. It looks very well in my opinion. And then, well, the engine was oddly placed below the tail fin, which has since been moved into another custom, which I'll talk about in just a sec. But the cabin, you could actually open it up. If I can get it off, there is actually a figure in here piloting. Well, that's if I don't kill him. So he's sitting in there with his two little joysticks and his steering wheel, which I'll just push that back down. And we'll move away from the guy that I just killed to Scrap Vehicle Mark II. And then we'll move to Scrap Vehicle Mark III, which is where the engine from the scrap plane actually went. So Mark II is taking the same sort of look from this with the ship cabin and then the vehicle bottom, but it actually has treads instead of wheels. And then Mark III actually wasn't far different. Besides, it went back to wheels instead of treads. So instead of having the one wheel in the front and the 3 in the back, it just has the 3 in the middle. So here is the engine, which actually did originally fit inside the scrap plane, and then it's still taking the same inspiration with the ship cabin down to the little plow down there, or like the shoveler, I guess, the scooper, I don't know what you want to call it, and then the bear sitting on top just kind of to look cool, I don't know. And then there were cabins on both these guys, so you could get inside of both of them, and you could pilot them inside, so there is minifigure detailing on both of those. And then after that, Mark III is actually the most recent scrap vehicle as of right now. And then we are going to flip over to the other side of the paper, where we take a look at some more modern builds. So then we move to the mini Titanic replica, which this is the Titanic replica, which I think I just did a video on not too long ago. I don't remember. I know I filmed it though. So here is the Titanic replica, and you might be kind of confused because this doesn't look like Titanic, but you can kind of see why it's called Titanic. So nothing too interesting to talk about there, but I'm pretty sure there's a video on that. And then we move back to the full-scale stuff away from the miniature ones. That's why it's called Mini Titanic. And then we have the Scrap Tank Mark I, which is this guy, which is very interesting and very special to me because it is using a bit of a complex and new building scheme for me. So this was based off a motorized base that my friend gave me, but the whole entire front of it, as you can see, is not just a standard layout like back here. It is actually attached through this one beam, as well as those side panels, kind of like the Steamboat Willie, with the two little sort of smooth bits hanging off the side right there, which I don't remember what set that came off of, but I do really like that one because it introduced a lot of new sort of techniques and things to me. And then we moved to my very first boat, the JHS Motobic. Well, actually the second, but I'm going to call this one a boat because that's more or less a ship. The JHS Motobic, which it does have lights right there, which was installed way after the building, so I would have changed the name if I had done this earlier, but Motobic is the name because it's supposed to be a motorboat, just a small little speedboat. And then it does have 2 LEDs in each window, so you can see on the other side as well. And then the stern has its 2 little identifier lights lit up as well. And then, well, the front, if you're kind of wondering why it doesn't look like a boat, the bow portion actually went to Britannia, which needed the pieces to get built. And then there is actually a bit of rust on the battery box. But then we move to one of my last things that aren't a boat as of right now, the Scrap Super Tank, which is a modification from the military tank. So this guy is definitely much more heavy duty than the tank. It's definitely called the Super Tank because of how large it is and its intense size. But it is a actually full-fledged tank because of its treads on the bottom, which this one's kind of like a hover tank. But the front end is very, very menacing and mean looking with all of its big bumper pieces. And then the little cabin, the tiny itty bitty cabin, which I find very amusing because it's basically big, 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 tiny. And then the back end, all this little smooth stuff is supposed to be the gas tank. This is supposed to be damaged where like a rocket would have hit or something. Just for information. I kind of did that because I was running out of pieces. Then we move up to what I did a lot of boat stuff. We have JHS, and JHS. So the Britannia, which we'll take a look at just now. This is the JHS Britannia, which I just took on my most recent hotel vacation, which was vlogged. So I did a whole bunch of syncing with that, but just recently, very, very recently, I put LEDs in this model. So if I can flip the switch right here up in the front, you can, there you go. So there are cabin lights, and then there are lights for the 2 side windows as well, which you can kind of see that one a bit better. So both of the brick built models have lights, which I'm going to leave those on because they are a pain to turn off. I also am going to be doing a video pretty soon on how I installed the lights on that. And then we move to the JHS Brick Defender, which is this guy right here, using the same base as the pirate ship, but it's orange instead of green. And it has a cannon right here, and then it has a pretty identical cannon up here in the front, or the bow, whatever you want to call it, which it's supposed to flip up like that without breaking. And then, well, after that, it's called Brick Defender because it's the very first LEGO battleship that I've built. Was also on vacation with me, so some pretty cool slow motion shots went on with that if you want to go check out those set of vlogs. So not too much to explain here. It's very simple, and there is also a video on here in the LEGO playlist. And then we move to the most recent boat and the last boat as of right now, the JHS Speedy Bricks, which I was thinking about renaming because it is very compatible with GoPro. So the special feature of this one is you can remove the top roof. And then the window of the GoPro that I have, it's the GoPro Session 5, just slides in here very easily, and you scoot it all the way back, and it's a little top window where it tells you what it's doing, like recording, how long it's been recording. When you put this window back on, you can see what the GoPro is doing on its screen perfectly, which in my vlogs I kind of explain that a little bit in day 3. And then, well, the inside does actually have a little bit of minifigure detailing. You have the window with the driver's seat and the steering wheel. And then moving on to this guy, Turbo Bubbles, which is my tiny itty-bitty little machine. And then the candy machine is actually not on the little book, which I wasn't thinking about including in the video, but there's the candy machine. Well, so I'll explain real quick. It's actually not my custom. I built it off a tutorial YouTube video back when I used to do that thing and call it my custom. But you'd put the penny in here and it'd produce Smarties, which is like a little candy. But this little Turbo Bubbles, or whatever you want to call him, I call him Turbo Bubbles because he kind of looks like a little turbo thing because of the little jet engine, and then the window right here kind of makes it look like a bubble, and all its round little curves, very curvy. And then inside there's your driver, a very modified control stick for him, and then you have a whole bunch of lights. There's a driver light right there, and then there are 2 reverse lights and 2 lights up there on the top, and then here's your little turbo engine, which looks pretty cool. And then the window also went through a bit of works to get it to sit right with a joint on a joint, or a little pivot on a pivot if you want to call it that. So there is every custom that I've built to date that I still have put together. Besides these 2, I built these with my friend Deegan. I just wanted to put them in the video so they were sitting here with their family of customs. But if you guys enjoyed taking a look at every single custom I've done, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it because this video did take a little bit of preparation and my voice is very kind of shot right now. Thanks for watching.